When the Department of Natural Resources began planning for the canal, the first guide for us was the Bartholomew plan. It is currently outdated and probably is not used as it was intended to be. But that was our initial planning document, which we used. There are two canals owned by IDNR, the Hennepin and the I&M, but clearly the history and the architecture of the I&M does make it a very special place compared to the Hennepin. Hennepin people would disagree, but nevertheless. We have to balance multiple goals within DNR. We have to balance the interpretation of the canal. We have to balance preservation, recreation, and history. And since we own and manage most of it, it is a very difficult task. And we have to try to strike a balance between all these different aims, and sometimes they do conflict. On the Seneca Grain Elevator project, where we had to rehabilitate the grain elevator, we did it, and it does provide a nice recreational opportunity for the bikers, the hikers. Unfortunately, we don't have an interpretive program there at the moment, but that's what we intended to do. The changes along the canal also enhanced the recreational. Even though there would not have been trees along the canal when it was functional, the growth of the trees along the towpath do enhance the rides of the bikers. One thing we were faced with was a lot of people living along the canals when we first acquired it. And when I started back in 1990, we began a program of buying out a lot of the areas, particularly in Morris, and we would convert these to green spaces. And it took a lot of work, but we were able to convert quite a bit of the houses into green spaces. One project that we worked on was also Lot 8 at Oxable, where we had to eliminate a lot of the youth camp and other buildings that were there. You can see it on the left and the right. There were lots of structures out there. There was a boat launch area, and where we had the iced tea money, we rehabilitated the entire area. We eliminated all the buildings that were not there during the canal, and obviously enhanced it for the bike riders where we redid the Oxalo Aqueduct. It's a lot better than it did. Another project that was an ICT funded project was the rehabilitation of the Fox River Aqueduct, where we did come back in and redo the stone facing on the aqueduct, and then redid the actual trough and the bikeway so that it could be used for the bike trail. We also do a lot of archaeology along the canal. One project was the excavation of 7 canal boats out in Morris, where we worked with the Canal Corridor Association, did a lot of public programming for that, documented them, and then covered them up. They're still there, they're underwater. History, using the archival data on the canal, these are from the canal survey books, and they're a wonderful resource. You can see the houses that were illustrated in Ottawa, and this tells us the type of architecture that existed at that time. It's terribly underused, but it is a tremendous resource. Another project was to go to Dresden, do some research there, and as you know, a lot of people talk about the Rutherford Tavern, and also the Mule Barn. We were able to demonstrate that it was not a mule barn, but it was a warehouse built before the Rutherfords were there. Another project, which is outside the canal but within the corridor, was at Goose Lake, where we excavated several pottery kilns that would predate the Civil War, and we had documented those. They're still there, they're coming up, but they're still there at Goose Lake Prairie. Restoration, obviously we did a lot of restoration on the locks, and we also restored the Ottawa Toll House, which we now lease to the city of Ottawa. These are projects again funded by the ICT program. The Civilian Conservation Corps did a lot along the canal. Certainly they rehabilitated, restored, rebuilt some of the locks, but they also built a lot of recreational facilities, primarily shelters along the canal, and they're still there, and we continue to rehabilitate them. Nettle Creek Aqueduct, I'm sure a lot of people are thinking about that. This has been shot several decades ago. It obviously had a problem 2 years ago, and I'm trying to pace myself 20 seconds here. I've never done this before. This is Nettle Creek prior to the collapse. This is around 2010. Top photograph is looking downstream, bottom photograph is looking upstream with the spillway. And sometimes 20 seconds can be a long time. I'm not used to this. Okay. But it's not the first time that the aqueduct collapsed. And there's actually been several aqueducts there. It started out as a culvert, but in 1910 there was an aqueduct as well that suffered collapse. These are some images from that, and it's very similar to what happened in 2013. That's in 2105. Hopefully it won't look like that in 2105.
We're now looking forward to
But we're all working on this. We have completed a hearing document on that, which was a requirement of the National Park Service. We documented the entire structure. And we are currently trying to bid out the deconstruction of the Nettle Creek Aqueduct, and we're going to then hopefully start the reconstruction at some point. Anyway.